Pitt, a team that I feel like no one is talking about in this offseason. I
Which
don't
is
know why.
interesting.
Yeah, which is interesting because they lose Keaton Slovis, but guess what? They add Philly J, Bill Jerkovich. Keaton Slovis goes to BYU, obviously. They lose Savagia Dennis, who's a really good linebacker, Kalijah Cansey.
Really, really good linebacker. Savakidis is awesome.
Yeah, Abanikanda goes to the NFL, believes Jets. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Um, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Over under win totals at 7. How are you feeling about that?
I think that's a perfect line. I think 7 is exactly where I would set it. I don't have a lean either way. I could see 6-6. I could see 8-4. I think 7-5 is a much more realistic possibility though. The problem is now yes, Pat Narduzzi, they've always had a very good defensive line, but I think the trenches is where you win college football games, and I that's their weak spot for sure. I think the running game will be better for sure. Will continue to get better, although they do lose. Is Israel Abanikanda, who off the NFL, good player. Jared Wayne, I think he's also gone too. He's in the NFL.
Well, Rodney
But
Hammond is fine. He's really good. I like him a lot.
yeah. So I obviously I think Jerkovich is an upgrade over Keaton Slovis. I don't think that's ridiculous. Now he has to learn the offense, but there are big time expectations for him because of his just quality of offensive line was just so bad. He was not playing quarterback last year. What he did, he has to unlearn some habits for sure, but he will find that his you know difficulty of play is a lot easier playing for a somewhat competent offensive line. Uh,
Yeah,
and with a little bit of run game too. So yeah,
yeah,
defensively they lost some guys for sure. Defense though, they got some pretty good guys. They got two corners. They like Donovan McMillan to play in the slot there is awesome from Florida. Javon McIntyre, he played a little bit last year. They do lose both their safeties, but he's got to step up for sure. Obviously, Savaka Dennis is a huge loss. Shane Simon seems like the guy that's going to step in there. We'll see how that plays. I don't think he'll be anywhere near Savaka Dennis, but he could be someone. I know that they like him. And then Solomon DeShields to play the other linebacker there with him too. So yeah, we'll see. I again like I think it's a good line. It's an intriguing team for sure. Because we see every couple of years, they kind of hit. So we'll see if this is one of those years, but I don't know if I see high upside for this team.
yeah. And I lean under. I lean under. And look, I'll compliment them. So some of what I'm going to say is counterproductive to my argument. Phil Jerkovich is a fantastic quarterback. Rodney Hammond is a really good running back. I don't think Abanikanda is like a huge loss, like the national media might say it is. Uh, if there's one thing I'm going to say about this offensive line, yes, they lost a lot of guys, but they didn't get a lot of guys in the transfer portal. I mean, so does that what that tells me is that they must like because it's not like they couldn't get guys. Like Pitt is a good place to go be an offensive lineman. I got a weird vibe from that saying like maybe this is a better offensive line than we think it is. But I think Kalijah Cansey is a huge loss. Sriracha Dennis is gigantic. He was so good for them last year. So Shane Simon, like you said, will be his replacement. I don't know, might maybe get some of that production back. I mean, the secondary, like you said, might be okay. It's just like for me, you lost your top 4 tacklers, and over 20 sacks, and you just lost a lot of snaps. You lost a lot of snaps on that defense. I do trust Randy Bates, but it feels like defensively, if you lose a lot of snaps, a lot of experience, you could see a drop off, like a regression there. And offensively, you're just bringing in a lot of new pieces. And we'll see if they mesh together. But I definitely would not take the over. That's definitely up. And if in my head, if I'm like, oh, I'm definitely not taking the over, then I'm like, okay, then I'm probably a lean under here. So I
Yeah,
mean, Notre Dame out of conference, get FSU. You don't draw Clemson, which is kind of nice, but you got to get Louisville, UNC, who I don't know might be not great, but you get them at home, like we talked about. Wake Forest at Wake Forest. That's a kind of a sneaky, scary game. If you ask me, Cincinnati. I think is better than people think they are, even though they're not fantastic. But like I just see a lot of potential slip ups on this schedule is what I see. Not that there's like a whole lot of jaw dropping names in this list of teams that they're playing, but it's hard for me to see them winning 8 games. Is what I'm trying to get at.
No, I agree exactly.
All right. Uh, anything else you want to point out about Pitt?
I will say yes, they did lose a lot of guys, but Narduzzi has done a good job of keeping people in the program and of recruiting at positions of need to where at linebacker and at defense line, they're old. They are really fucking old. I mean, I'm looking at their roster right now. They got 8 guys, 7 guys in their two deeps on the defensive line that are fourth and fifth year guys. I mean, most of them are fifth year guys. So yes, that doesn't mean they're elite guys that have taken that step to go, the NFL earlier or whatever it is, or maybe like transfer out of there and get some big time money in the transfer portal. But it's nice to be in a weight room for 5 years and then go play in the ACC. I mean, it absolutely helps. Instead of having to rely on these young guys, like some of these programs are, if they fill positions of need. So yeah, we'll see. I like Jerkovich. I hope he in the NFL. I'll be excited to see what he does. I think he'll be a better NFL quarterback than a college quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important to note that Signetti, their offensive coordinator, has worked with Phil Jerkovich at Boston College. I think that's a big deal.
Well, that's why I went there.
Yeah. That's I think it's a big deal in terms of getting him acclimated.